There we go. Yeah. Okay.
Good.
So, today I have with me Philip. I know Philip, but I don't know Philip, but I know Philip. Do you know what I mean? He's like my adopted brother, basically. And
Yeah.
when did I meet? I think I saw. I didn't even meet. I saw him at a pageant. So he was part of Mr. and Miss Teen Ghana UK 2018.
Yeah.
I saw him on stage and this guy was just talking. I said, yeah, this is actually fantastic. And I felt like he had a lot to say for his age. I say for his age, quote unquote, for his age, because a lot of people around his age aren't as outspoken as he was back in the time. And obviously, he's still outspoken. And he had a lot to say, and I just admired him. So at the end, I was like, listen, I want to be a friend in it. Like, you're amazing. I want to get you on board. Like, we'll talk some way, somehow we'll talk. And we stayed in touch ever since. And so that's how I got to know Philip. So I want you to tell us a bit about yourself. And then after that, you're going to tell us 3 fun facts about yourself that we'll go into the questions.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm Philip Asiyama. I'm a full-time student. I'm full-time creative, and I'm a child of God, obviously. I study psychology, so that's gonna show a lot. And when we're doing the interview, because a lot of my interests and a lot of my experiences led to my decision to study psychology. I do music as well, so I produce, I play keys, I play bass, play a bit of drums. But yeah, that's a bit about me.
Cool.
3 fun facts.
Yeah. Wait, before we go into the psychology in uni, you said, yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Fun facts.
Fun facts. How fun do the facts have to be?
No, but you know what it is? I've told everyone, yeah, everyone thinks their definition of fun is different. So, like, you might think I might laugh at you, but it's fine, it's okay. But, you know, your definition of fun, you know, you might be like, I like looking at a white wall, like, it makes me happy.
Oh, gosh, that's awful.
No, what's different?
3 fun facts. I don't know. Oh, I got a fun fact. I used to be part of the developmental team for the England basketball team. I used to play basketball when I was younger.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I used to play basketball.
Oh, yeah, he's quite tall by the way.
What else? Can I say I play instruments? I can say that again, right?
Yeah, that's a fun fact. We've seen what you do on Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still learning, but yeah. One more. I wanted to study biomechanics before I ended up studying psychology.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was into sports and stuff.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. Those are interesting. I mean, development scene from.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, actually no, yeah. So we, of course, this will lead me to the main thing we're discussing today. I think everyone might know by now. So it's mental health we're going to discuss today. So you're how old are you now?
20.
Okay, so you're representing the future gen, yeah. So have you ever, if and of course, if at any point if you're uncomfortable, please just give me a shout and I just. So have you ever experienced any form of mental health issues? Have you ever struggled mentally to this very day?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Like, especially growing up, I feel like a lot of us struggle with stuff, but we don't realize until we look back at it retrospectively. So in the time, like, it's bad, but it's not that bad because it's just life. You get what I mean? Yeah, in the present situation, it's not that bad. Especially, like, I don't want to be cliche, but obviously black men, like, we don't talk about our feelings, especially in our culture. No chance. You get what I mean? Like, a lot of, like, even our parents and that, sometimes they are more receptive to it, but in like the stem of their foundation is not receptive. So they try, like, they can learn it, they're trying to learn it, but deep down it's not there. So I feel like even growing up, those little things, and then going to like year 12 and that, where education becomes more demanding, it became more difficult for me, and there's a lot of strains on me. And I felt like I let it get to me, and I let it all pile up. And when you let it pile up, that's when it begins to have an effect on you. So I'd say like I was in like a depressive state for like a year at that stage. But I became more aware of it. As I became aware of it, I became to approach it. And I feel like it's not something that, like, oh yeah, counseling, etc. That works for some people, but I feel like that's a temporary solution. And I feel like it's something you need to find within yourself and within your spirituality to solve it. But yeah, I feel like a lot of people have been through it, in fact, but some people don't even know it to this day.
Yeah, I think it's also hard to acknowledge it as well until, because I think, like you said before, in the moment you're like, oh, maybe it's not that deep, because
Yeah.
you're not doing certain things that, like how depression is portrayed on TV or whatever, or maybe even around you. Like, I don't think, maybe I'm chatting like wet right now, but I don't think like a lot of I say from our culture, Black people, you see Black people dealing with depression on TV. Like I don't remember, I can't think of many characters in like shows or whatever. Whereas with like maybe with the white race or something, I could say that I can pinpoint like one random storyline is one guy from Hollyoaks, I forgot his name, Darren or something, that asked me. But yeah, I watch these things when you're at home, innit? But then he's going through a depressive state right now. Like he's going through depression, pardon. And it's just like, oh, so this is how he's dealing with it. But then I wonder how Black people deal with it if they're like on TV. Like I don't know how it works. And like you were saying, people might downplay it until they look back and they're like, actually, okay, maybe I was struggling. Like maybe I was actually struggling with this or whatever. And, you know, it's great I came over or whatever. And that leads to my next question. So you're saying around year 12, and then was it just before you went to uni that you did the pageant?
Yeah.
Yeah. So who sent you to go and do a pageant? I mean, from having that moment to like, what made you like overcome that state you were in, and next minute you're like, yeah, do you know what? Like, yeah, I'm gonna speak about mental health at such a young age. Like, clearly at that point you had overcome some of it, and you were brave enough to come and speak in front of like your peers. That's crazy. Like, I mean, crazy in a good way. That's wild. That's fantastic.
It was scary though.
Yeah,
it was definitely scary.
You were very confident.
It was scary, but what would I say? I don't know. I feel like it was almost like a testimony and like a word of encouragement to other people, because, like, I wish someone did that for me to see it and be like, oh, let me receive that. So I was like, let me do something to help someone else, and obviously to get off my chest as well, to share it, because even my parents are like, oh, right, like yeah, she done that kind of thing. So I feel like it wasn't. I don't know. Like I wasn't even all the way through it. I wasn't going through it at all. Like even at the time, I felt like I was nearly there. When I got to uni,
the test came.
I felt it. Yeah, I felt it. And I was like, oh, did I go in too soon? Having a bit of regrets, etc. But I feel like I needed to say it, and I feel like I need to continue saying it, because a lot of people need support. And like, it's not everyone. Like, I really wish I had someone that helped me the way I want to help people. So I feel like it needs to be done.
And what do you obviously at the time, were you able to tell your parents what you were going through, that okay, mum, dad, Charlie, the way is going, like, mean to me, like I can't do it? How did you? I really spoke to you. Wow, sorry, I can't do this anymore. I'm sorry, guys. Like, oh, mum, dad, I'm struggling, I can't do this anymore. Like, who were you able to speak to? Anyone at the time? Were you able to express yourself to anyone at all?
Yeah, I spoke to my mum. I spoke to my dad sometimes. My dad, like, in my dad's relationship is a bit more like, he encourages me in it. It's not like counseling.
Yeah.
But it's more like, oh, you'll get through. Don't worry, you'll get through. Give me a Bible verse here and there. You'll get through, kind of thing. Because my dad, like, obviously Ghanaians and Africans in general are very work hard and you
the grind.
Get like the American dream kind of mindset.
Yep.
Work hard, you'll get there.
Yeah.
So obviously that helped me a lot though. That's how I got to the uni. How I got the grades I got, etc. Because of that kind of mindset, like, it's instilled in me. But when it comes to more sensitive things, that process doesn't necessarily work. But yeah, I told my mom. I even remember my mom. I told her something, and she brought it back against me like the next week. And that sounds like cool. I'm on my own now. You get what I mean? I was just like, yeah, I'm on my own, because it really hurt me at the time.
What did she do?
Yeah, she brought it back in the argument. And I was just like, wow. So when I told you, like, oh, you weren't going to tell anyone, blah, 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 and now you're bringing it, I was like, okay, what? Like, I've got over it, but I don't feel like I would go to someone with something sensitive now. But I have a lot of friends. I have a good support system around me now. At the time, I didn't.
Yeah. But I think, and I was speaking to someone about this recently, actually, and I was saying that I think sometimes people do that as a defense mechanism, don't they? So, I mean, I'm not speaking for your mum in it, but I'm just saying one reason could be that they just don't know how to deal with it. Like, if I've come to tell you that I'm struggling with this and I don't have the answer, and if it's bothering me, the next thing I might do is that I might flip and be like, yeah, that's why. Like, it's
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And it's just like, rah, So because you couldn't think of anything, this is what you decided to open your mouth to come and say.
Yeah.
Wow. But I think, do you know what? I think it's with time, you learn how to converse to your parents and how to approach them. But I'm happy that you mentioned that you've got a good support system. Like, even though you feel, I feel like you can definitely go back. Like, there's a way you go about it with your parents. And as time goes on, you get to know your parents a lot better, naturally. And I think the relationship between children and their parents strengthens as they grow up. I would like to think.
Yeah, especially because you become more like compatible in certain ways of thinking. Yeah.
So like now you'd be able to be like, nah, but mommy, that time that you said that was really a low blow. And she'll be like, oh, man, like I didn't do it on purpose. Do you know what I mean? She was struggling. And they don't know how to articulate that. And like, they don't know how to say it. And I remember I saw something on them, like, they don't even know there's a word for depression in Tree. Like, what is that? Do you know what I mean? Apart from mental or madness, that's the only thing I know in Tree language. There's nothing like there's nothing like that. So they don't even know how to express it. Okay, so next question. You are now in the state where you don't feel like you can speak to your parents about certain struggles that you may be like having in terms of your mental health, and you have friends. Should your friends be tied up, do you know any other organizations that you can speak with, that you can converse with, that you can seek help and assistance from?
Oh, there's a lot of charities and things like that, but
are you comfortable?
For me as an individual, yeah, that's how I was going. For me as an individual, I feel like, obviously, sometimes it's good, certain issues, to get someone that's outside perspective. You talk to them, you go home, it's like it never happened. That's for certain issues and for certain personality types and certain people, that works. But for me, once in a while, that's all right, I guess. That's okay. But I feel like for someone that knows me, they know like what I go through, they know my personality, they know what I do every day. So for me to start open up to them, obviously it makes me vulnerable, but they're able to give me more specified advice. You get what I mean? But obviously I study psychology, so I know what the psychologists know. Even though it's generalized, it's quite good advice. Like, it works for like most people.
Isn't that so frustrating though, that you're studying something that you're struggling with? That is so annoying.
Oh no, it's interesting. I find it so interesting.
It's like you're just there like, oh, I feel that. Then you go and read your notebook, you're like, yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
I guess. So rather than you paying someone to do it, you do it yourself. You are so cheeky.
Yeah. It's fascinating.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay, so suppose, do you have any younger siblings?
Yeah, I have a little brother.
So your family setup is, so before you went to uni, it's literally your mum, your dad, and yourself and your younger brother, or is there an older sibling?
I have an older sister and an older brother. He's older. He's 10 years older than me.
Okay. So were they at home at the time when you were going through what you were going through?
My older brother wasn't even born here. So, me and my older brother, our relationship only just developed like recently. But my sister at home. She was finishing up. Okay. She was finishing up to go to uni. So not even the bulk of it, she wasn't there. She's 2 years older than me, so she would have already been gone.
Yeah. And
I still spoke to my sister. I spoke to my sister about a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Because she's my closest one in age. And I don't want my little brother to like, there's certain vulnerabilities about me I don't want my little brother to see just yet.
See it though?
Because it's like, not that he meant to look up to me, but I want him to know like, I go through stuff, but not, I'm really, really struggling with this kind of thing. Maybe I'll tell him, I struggled with that, past tense. Let him know that, you'll get through it. But in the present time now, because I feel like he needs to be able to lean on me all the time. You understand what I'm saying?
How old is he?
My brother, 17 now.
Oh, so he's not young. Like he's... Okay.
At the time he was, though. At the time, if I was 17, he was 15.
Okay.
Or 14 even.
Okay. So what if he's... I'm not... What's the word? What's the English I'm looking for? I'm not going against what you're saying or your theory.
Okay.
But supposing he's going through similar things you're going through that you don't want to open up to him about, how do you feel he would, like, and especially with the way you've described how your parents were when you opened up to them, who do you think he's going to open up to? Don't you think it would be great if he knows that, like, I see you and I'm like, he's doing amazing. Like, yes, he struggled in life, but he's doing fantastic. to like he's been able to overcome certain struggles he's had in life. But I wonder if you opened up to him like literally, this is me, I did this, I did that, this is what I struggled with, but I'm here today. So if you go through the same thing, like I'm here for you. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
When you create a safe haven for him to open up.
Oh, definitely. That's what I do, but that's only stuff that I've been through. Stuff that I'm going through currently. He doesn't really know like the ins and outs of it. Because even when I speak to him, it's more like checking up on him, etc. Like we're not really going in depth. Like him and my sister, they go in depth. She's like the main one for me and him.
Yeah.
We grew up with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I tell him a lot of stuff I've been through is not really what I'm going through right now.
Okay. So at least he's got your sister too, and is your so your sister? Oh, so who does your sister speak to then? If all of you are speaking to
me, she seems better to me.
Oh, that's
me and my sister go both ways. Yeah.
So you're the family therapist.
Sometimes.
The way you're going, that's what it is. Okay, and so so obviously off the back of what you said earlier, you wouldn't recommend therapy.
I feel like for an individual, you need to look at your personality and look at if it's worth your time. I feel like everyone is worth your time, but it shouldn't be something you rely on one. Mm-hmm. But it's okay to give it a try, but don't ever think that's the solution, because once you come out of like an institution where that's available, or a culture where that's available, you're gonna struggle, to be honest with you. Unless obviously they're gonna teach you strategies that you need to implement and start to internalize. But even still, you could easily build a dependency on them, because the way that it works, like obviously at the end of the day, it's a business, and they want you to come, they want you to like keep coming, etc. That's life. Like it's actually a business. But yeah, I feel like people should. I don't want to say like it's a mind thing, but you need to be open to like your transformation, and you need to receive it in your heart. Once you want that, you will over time develop more ways to do it yourself, or in a localized way, instead of going out to get help.
Okay. So do you reckon it will be easier if your therapist was someone that looks like you?
Oh, most definitely. That's another thing that we don't have that much access to as Black people. But that's a problem within our own society, because we don't grow up to do that. So it's not anyone's fault but ourselves. Like, so it's that simple.
Would you ever house phone? Don't worry. Would you ever yes, picked up, don't worry. Would you ever go into that career, since you don't
ever?
Yeah, like therapy, since you didn't have it, would you now step into it and fill in that gap? Would you ever consider that?
I don't feel like I would for long term, but maybe on the short term. I feel like personally I'd want to go into like more of like speaking and like I don't even have to explain, but more doing speeches, going into smaller communities and like like going into schools and things like that, rather than being someone that Philip is in this office, I'm gonna come and see Philip this week. That's still good, because you can have a lot of impact, but I'd rather do that. For example, go into a prison, and talk. About, if I come there weekly or something like that, because it's like it flips it. It's the other way around. That's something I feel like is more, because there's people that don't even know that they need the help. They're more at risk than the people that know, like, I need help, so I'm gonna go counselling.
Okay.
So that's how I feel.
Okay. And so we've spoken about the family aspect. Now let's take it to your friends. Prior to going, because I know you're not from Buckingham Palace, you're not from Windsor. I know.
From the end.
Were you able to express to your friends growing up like how you were feeling?
At the beginning, like my friends, I'm not gonna lie, they're really good friends, because they never like made me feel like, rah, Philip, you're only mad. Never.
Or like you're washed
always like, no, it was never that. Sometimes it's like, Philip's actually going through something.
Okay.
But most of the time it was just like, we got your back, bro, kind of thing. But I feel like not everyone has that, because some people they're so alien to it.
No, because I'm surprised you gave that answer. I would have, not that I wanted to, but I would have expected it to be like, yeah, bro, yeah, like chill. There's always that one friend in it where they're looking sideways, like, what? But for you to have that system is good. And do you still stay in touch with those friends?
I'm actually friends with like the same people. Secondary school, sixth form. Now that we're even apart, we talk every day, and it's crazy. Like, I was thinking about it the other day, it's actually crazy.
Good.
It's a blessing, man. Yeah.
Good. Okay. So, would you be able to touch on one thing that you feel like your peers might be, well, I say your peers at the time could have been going through, and how you overcame that so that they can take that piece of advice? And I'll ask you the semi-final question and then we'll wrap up. So, yeah, what could you shed light on one of your experiences that you feel like another person around your age at the time was going through and how you're able to overcome that?
Ooh, let me think. Oh, this is a question that put me on the spot now. Another person going through something. I feel like in sixth form, a lot of people went through stuff. Some people were actually like, sixth form was so hard for them that we could have handled it. Because at my school, even though it was a state school, a lot of us that was like G&T, gifted and talented, we're doing 5 A levels for AS. We're doing 5. Like I had done 5 the whole year, and it was crazy. But I thank God for it. Because since I done 5,
A level, J,
I
like,
done 5 and I dropped 2.
yeah.
Since I dropped 2, it felt like, oh, this is so much easier now, kind of thing. So I think it was worth it. But a lot of people, it was hard on them. It was really hard on them. And they were like overthinking it, even though 12 didn't count.
Well, it does make a difference to your final grade. It makes a difference, essentially.
No, not for mine. Mine was linear. Yeah, but obviously your uni application, etc.
Yeah.
But that took a toll on a lot of people. Like they were in the library every day. They were just going to the way. And even when you work hard, and then you go into the exam and you don't do well, and it just makes you feel even worse. But in that situation, like a lot of people, some people, like I'm just like, oh, I don't want to trust in God, etc. But sometimes people aren't trying to hear that, and that's the truth. And I feel that I don't know. Sometimes, like obviously, God is always gonna be there, innit? But sometimes we need to tell people we need to allow God to speak through us to people because they'll be more receptive to what we have to say than us using. I like to use this term Christianese, like
okay.
When people are throwing Christian terms at you, just believe in God, have faith, God's grace, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like people aren't trying. If I'm upset, I'm not trying to hear that. Why are you telling me that? Understand? There's a time and place. So I feel like I don't know, but at the time I was just encouraging them. I was like, "Oh, do you want me to help you, etc." Because that's what they need. It's not just encouragement, not just verbal encouragement. It's actually physical. So I was like, let's keep practicing. It'll get better. And up to now, like, they've done well in their A levels, etc. So, and it's something that they can look back on and see, and that's God's glory shown through me. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's not like I never had to make it over religious. I just had to allow God to work through me.
Good. Okay. So at this point, I'm thinking you were in a good friendship circle, essentially.
Yeah, most definitely.
And I'm going to assume that's what's kept you alive as well.
Most definitely.
Yeah. Now, what apart from how do I put this? Where would you recommend, like, what would you say to parents who might or could have a son or a daughter go through this at this point? What would you say to them?
First thing first, I'll say know when to like back off. Because if you're too hands-on, like it almost comes across like, you're such a big problem. I need to help you because you're a huge issue, etc. And another thing I'll say, not to over religion it, but don't make it too much about religion. Like, we need to take to church to get praying for blah blah blah. Cool, prayer and that is always going to be at the core of it. But don't make it like the magic thing that's going to heal the person, because that's obviously God heals. I'm not gonna say God doesn't heal, but it should never be like that, because the effect it has on them is like, I'm a problem, etc. So I feel like parents need to practical stuff. Like there's little things like exercise, music, going out, having fresh air, not staying in bed. That will make you feel better already. Already starts making you feel better, and doing it with your parent as well.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, doing it with them, because a lot of parents, African parents, like there's not a lot of parents that go out. Like even one of my friends, I've seen on his snap, like his mum has been going to play football with him and all of that. I'm like, like you can actually do that. Like he can bring everyone out of the house, his mummy, his dad, and they go play football. I'm like, that's crazy. That's crazy. And little things like that, obviously that builds unity, one. But even like subconsciously already like doing little things chemically, like serotonin, dopamine, starting to make you feel better. Oh my goodness.
You're dropping the
But
gems.
yeah, I just feel like there's just so much stuff you can do. So you should never like narrow it to one thing. As a parent, look at it holistically. And even you, as a parent, you might go to a psychologist and get help. Oh, what should I do to blah, blah, blah? Rather than just, because a lot of people go to like the pastor, etc. The pastor knows stuff.
But he's going
in this specified area.
There you are. So you froze for a second. You went all Teddy Riley on me.
Yeah, you froze as well. In this specified area, like it's better to go to like a professional. Obviously, I'll never neglect the church in it, but if you use both, it's more effective overall.
Okay. All right. So that's to the parents of the past gen. So parents that are now starting to have their children. So I'd say late 20s to like early 40s. What would you say to them? Because they're quite down with it. Do you know what I mean? But so they're like in the middle, but essentially they're in the middle, aren't they? So what would you say to them as well?
They just need to get it right from the beginning.
Pressure.
Because if they get it right from the beginning, your child is going to be like opening up to you, etc. And when they don't open up, you can already start to gauge things like, oh, this might be going wrong. Because they're more modern. So there's problems that, I don't know, in Ghana, you're not going to see someone getting robbed on the street. Not robbed, like, obviously they get robbed in it, but like, you know how we get robbed in ends? Oh, can't give me your phone, kind of thing. And that's someone that you even know is your friend's cousin, kind of thing. That doesn't happen in Ghana. And it's just little things like fraud, etc. That's what we go through here. And that's something that people in the older 20s is more aware of. So I feel like you just need to get it out from the beginning and know that in certain aspects your child shouldn't like they shouldn't have to face all the battles that you went through. Obviously it built your character, but they shouldn't have to. Certain battles, let them fight it. But not all the battles they need to fight, because some of them you've already done it for them.
Okay. All right. And let's see. So now I think I've asked all the questions actually. What's kept you alive? We already answered that. Okay. So people would want to know more about your story and how you're overcoming it, and of course check up on you and stuff. I know how to get through to you, but how do people get through to you? If people want to like eventually invite you to come into their institution, to come and just shed some light, inspire them, whatever, how do they find you?
Just on Instagram, to be
honest. Where on Instagram?
On Instagram. Underscore. I'll say my is _.vivace, and everyone asks me what that means.
Yeah, I was about to ask because I've been calling.
Everyone asks me what that means. Basically, it's Italian music words, and it means like so when something is lively or when something is fast, and it's just something that spoke to me when I was younger, and it's more about speaking life and bringing life into situations. That's why I made it my name, and that's like is my production name. It's like my stage name kind of thing. So it's just something I've carried with me.
How do you actually pronounce it? So if it's Italian, is it what, Vivace?
Yeah.
Because I'm the whole time I've been like,
it's calm. We're fine on silent. We'll take it.
Okay, so it's Vivace. Okay, so that's VIVACE, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, that's where they can hear about your journey. They can hear about your music. He's really, by the way, he's amazing. What else? And just follow you, really. Okay, all right. Thank you so much. And I'm sure this will stir up some conversations at home as well. Oh, also, sorry, some piece of advice you give to your peers right now. Because you gave it to
peers.
Present gen, now your people, the future gen. What have you got to tell them?
People across the board or people that are struggling, or just both?
I would say people that are struggling particularly, and then of course you can do across the board.
People that are struggling, I'd say the right friends will come to you. Like you can seek them out, but there isn't such a need. Like they will come to you eventually. So just continue to keep your head up, because literally you're someone's hope, and it doesn't seem like it at the time, but you're actually someone's hope. Someone is like relying on you to do what you need to do to get to where they need to get to. Like you're actually someone else's salvation. So just continue, just press on. And across the board, this one is actually a bit more difficult. Across the board, what would I say? Just believe in yourself and be excellent. Because a lot of people, like we have this stigma in our edge you that there's too many people in this industry, too many people in this industry, too many YouTubers, too many this. Forget that. Do your thing and be excellent at it. Because excellence is unique. Excellence is you. Your excellence is different. That's what you bring. So be you and just do it best and do it well.
You really sprinkled all that. Thank you so much. Thank you. So people can find you on Instagram, on Twitter as well?
Yeah, it's the same app.
Okay, at Vachi. I'm so proud of myself.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And we'll converse soon, yeah?
Okay, thank you.